Yo, what's up, guys? This is Why Not Be Reckless, aka Why Not Be Casting. I'm one of the HCS commentators, and we have another HCS Weekly Report where today we're going to be going over Scrim results and taking a deep dive specifically into Optic versus Faze. Before we get there, we have plenty of other matches to go over. I didn't want to dig too much into scrims as much as I've been doing recently, but with the lack of streams as far as scrims, like for example, Optic Gaming, who normally stream every single scrim, and us not being able to see it anymore, I think now is more important than ever to get this content out there and to really do these deep dives and take a look at the stats, because we weren't able to see them actually play or hear them from their perspective. So we're going to go over most of the scrims that happened between now and the last time we did this type of video, but then by the end of it, we're going to take a deep dive into Optic versus Faze. So let's start off with Cloud9 11-0ing the strong survive. I talked about it before. You can't have a world championship and not include Ace, the global champion from Halo 4. Sadly, that wasn't enough to get them even a single win over Cloud9. G1 and Faze ended their scrim a little bit early, tied things up at 5 apiece, and I will say that Faze are considered to be, tournament winning contenders. G1 are the ones who are the underdogs in this matchup. For them to keep things close, I think it's quite impressive, because we have large question marks on who are G1. Are they that team that got second place at the North American Super, or are they more of the top 8 team? I believe they got a top 6 finish, top 8 finish. Oh, I'm going crazy. I had to be top 8, because it had to be top 8 because G2 and EUnited got top 6. But still, a top 8 finish at Orlando, which is still great, and them taking Sentinels to a game 5 and being literally 1 kill away from knocking out Sentinels out of the tournament, I think was absolutely insane. So G1 versus Faze being hyper competitive. I'm going to talk a little bit more about G1 going further. EUnited, another team we have a lot of question marks around. I don't think anybody expected them to be the top 4 team that they were back when they had Spartan and King Nick. However, we did not want to see them drop below top 8, and they were able to meet expectations, getting a huge top 6 finish, which I think is really good for EUnited. However, Native Gaming were able to go the distance with them, only beating them out by 1. So if EUnited are going to consistently be a top 6 team, I think you have to get a little bit more dominant over Native Gaming Red. Again, not that Native Red are bad by any means whatsoever, but I would like to see this be more of a 10-5 in favor of EUnited. Sentinel 16-1 over Oxygen Esports. I don't think we're surprised by that. Love that Oxygen have added Collect. However, not enough to get more than 1 win over Sentinels. G2 and Fnatic going close. I think that's big. If you ask me G2 versus Fnatic before they picked up Suppressed and Arctic, I say that G2 dominate. I'm not even, I didn't have a lot of stock in Fnatic. I'm sorry, they weren't looking good. Going into Orlando, they looked 10 times better. They're going to be playing. They're going to have a chance to play into Worlds, and we're going to see exactly where they're at. And for them to keep things close with G2, who just got a big top 6 finish, I think is great for Fnatic. Ascend 6-3 over now. It says Forbidden Fruit, but now Team War. I think it's a good win. Obviously Team War were able to beat out Ascend. I want to say it was like 3-1 early in the losers bracket of Orlando, knocking Ascend out a lot earlier than expected. We're talking about Ascend, who were legitimately contending, for top 8, top 6, legit. Like I'm talking about, like legitimate, and maybe even a dark horse team to make it to top 4. In fact, Dan Gaskin, one of the commentators, had Ascend in his top 4 prediction. So I think that's a big win. You get your revenge on Team War. However, right before that, you did get 8-2'd by Complexity, and it's tough because I feel like Complexity, Cloud9, and Optic, those are the 3 teams that I don't give a damn about them online. Optic are going to be dominant online. My question for them is, what do they do on land? They were able to win Orlando, great. Cloud9, they don't play well online, let's be honest. They do not play up to their expectations online. But when they get to land, they freaking up it. Second place at Orlando, great. Complexity are one of those teams that have found massive success online. We just need to see it start to translate a little bit more into land. And it's tough. It really is. It's tough being comfortable, being uncomfortable. When I'm playing at home, I'm in my own setup. I muscle memory kicks in. Like, I know exactly what I'm doing. I could have 5,000,000 people watching me, and I'm gonna feel good because I'm in my comfort zone. The moment you take me out of this old rackety chair and this crappy setup that I have right now, and you put me in anywhere else, it feels weird. My sensitivity feels off. My brightness is off. The lighting ain't right. I have the sun in my eyes. My puppy is not licking my toes. I don't feel comfortable, and I think that might be one of the issues with complexity. You know, like maybe they need to get out of their comfort zone and go more to that LAN type of setting. Maybe they need to go in more and go into like a local like esports arena or something and play there. Just get comfortable being uncomfortable. But what do I know? I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just a stupid commentator. G1 11-3 over EUnited, two teams that we had a lot of question marks about. And I will say again, EUnited, top 6 EUnited. The team that we had tons of question marks about, you know, the rivalry between Snipedown and Boo Boo Doo, former members of Faze going at it. G1 dominate them. Sheesh. They dropped the people's elbow on EUnited 11-3. That's big. That's big. I wouldn't be mad if this was like an 8-7, you know, like a 9-8. I wouldn't even be mad at that. But 11-3? Wow. We're going to talk a little bit about this a little bit later, but Sentinels versus Native Red, 8-7 in favor of Sentinels. Native Red once again keeping things close. We saw Native Red keep things close with EUnited, only losing out by 1. Same thing with Sentinels. So it seems like Native Red is starting to figure things out now. And if they can keep on keeping things close against some of the top teams, maybe they pull off some upsets. Watch out for Native Red. They're the real deal. We talk about them all the time. Them and G1, the ultimate dark horse teams. I think maybe G2 and Ascend are getting in that conversation, but right now it's still Native Red and it's still G1. They can possibly lose to anybody in the league, but they can also possibly beat anybody in the league. They march to a beat of their own drum. Native Red losing out by 1 game. And finally, the belle of the ball, Optic Gaming. Oh yeah. I hear you guys already. I say Optic Gaming, and the crowd starts freaking screaming from home. God bless. 9-2 over Faze. Mind you, back in Orlando, Faze were able to take Optic to a Game 5. One of the most competitive series that we saw. That was over in pool play, I want to say. Faze not able to contend with Optic online. Optic absolutely showing off and showing out. Lucid with the 224 kills. Right behind them was Formal with the 217, 118 assists to go. So your two leading damage dealers are Lucid and Formal. And although Lucid was able to have a few more kills, those assists really go in favor of Formal. And that damage is so close, with Lucid taking a little bit less. The only 2 games that Faze were able to take off of Optic Gaming was a 4-3 on Streets. By the way, it's a game type that normally doesn't even go the distance, but did. Faze barely taking that out, and then the same thing on a Stronghold's recharge. Again, a very close, only separated by 8 points. Meanwhile, you're seeing some dominant performance in Stronghold Streets. You're seeing some dominant performance on King of the Hill. You know, when Optic won, there were some games where they won. And Faze barely able to squeeze out these wins here, on one on King of the Hill Streets, another on Stronghold's recharge. I said it before, I'll say it again though. I honestly do not care about Optic Gaming online. I just don't. I'm sorry. Optic, Cloud9, Complexity. Those are the 3 teams that I could think about. I mean, you obviously add Sentinels as well. Their online performances mean absolutely nothing to me. It's what they do online. Can they translate it? Obviously, you won out in Orlando, which I think is great. You've earned the right to be the favorites going into Worlds. I think they are. They're the best team in the league right now, but it doesn't mean you're unbeatable. Faze can beat you out on LAN. Sentinels can still beat you. Cloud9, the way they were playing, can beat you, and you can still get upset by a crazy run by like a G1 or a Native Red. I'm saying Optic are the favorites. They're the best team in the league, but it does not mean it's a given. Worlds are still wide open. It's the most competitive that we've seen Halo in a very long time, and I would be blasphemous to say forever. Going into the capture the flag stats. Trippy leading out all slates, 45 kills, 20 assists and above across the board here. APG a little bit behind on the kills department, but let's see how that translated to the objective. Well, of course, I say that's why the stats be misleading sometimes. You see APG, you're like 29 kills in this game. That's not much, and you see 68 flag grabs. Like, oh, yeah, now it makes sense. 7 flag steals. You know what I'm saying? Like, my man is doing the dirty work. He's in the trenches. Making sure every one of those flag caps end up getting captured. If it was not for APG, who knows if this will be a 2-0 performance. Maybe FaZe will win it if APG isn't doing that dirty work. So I will 100% give you a pass in the slays department when you're pulling grabs like this. When your next highest grabs is 31 and you have damn near 70, I'm sorry, you get a pass from me. Straight up, you get a pass from me. King of the Hill stats. Halo Data Hive doesn't really like King of the Hill or Strongholds too much. You're not going to see many objective time, but I still want to at least look at the Slays department. Lucid and Formal, really close to the Slays. 28 assists a piece out of both of them. Trippy with the 62 kills. APG a bit behind with the kills, but I can only imagine with the amount of damage that he's had taken, the amount of damage he's done. I'm gonna assume he was in the hill most of the time and even got a decent amount of assists as well. That's my assumption. I don't know because we don't have the points here. I apologize. Either way, love the damage across the board. 3-headed monster putting up 17,000 with Lucid barely being the leader on that. Also taking as minimal damage as possible. I'm big. If you can keep your damage output high, keep your deaths low, and take minimal damage, I think you've had a great game, an elite game. And that's just me. And some people might disagree with that. But if damage high, deaths low, and taking minimal damage, I'm good. Now, if your deaths are high, your damage taken is high as well. Now I'm starting to question, like damn man, what you doing out here? Like if you ain't got no damage output and whatnot, but if you have a high amount of damage, low amount of deaths, and low damage taken, I think that's a great series for you. Go to Oddball a little bit. A little Oddball. 60 kills, 29 assists out of APG. Not bad. 17,000 damage. Lucid with a big 82. Formal with a big 74. 41 assists. I'm telling you, man, Formal, he may not have the most slays, but when you add up those slays and assists, man, in fact, he even had more damage than Lucid, which is not always the case. He's usually competitive with them, but Lucid will have a little bit more because he has a little bit of a faster gameplay. Formal even able to out damage the Lucid. Big ups to him. With the low amount of kills by APG, I'm gonna assume objective time was in fit. Again, that's why I say it all the time, man. I'm saying, like, if you're able to put up 60 kills, you know what I'm saying? Just 14 below Formal, just 7 below Trippy, but you put out that many points. I'm saying, like what? Damn. That is damn impressive to me. Cause you gotta think about it. Okay, so let's use Trippy for example. This is my thought process. You only had 7 less kills than Trippy. Obviously the assist is as well, but we'll say only 2,000 less damage than Trippy. But you had the ball time damn near 3x the time. I'm saying. All I'm saying is, it's really tough for you to be that leading damage maker, and still be holding that amount of ball time. We're not talking about your freaking diamond matchmaking game, Johnny. What the hell? Shut up. We're talking about against one of the best teams in the league. APG's underrated. I think obviously when we talk about this team, we talk about Lucid, but man, what Formal does in the all-around department, what APG does in the dirty work department, if those two aren't on the team, Optic aren't this good. I'm sorry, it takes a full team effort. It's not just about the damage, not just about the slays. I'm telling you, it's the all-around play from Formal. It's that objective time from APG. Going to strongholds. Again, I do apologize. Not many stats here, but we still can go into the kills department. And we do see, look at that Eve. Look, oh, man. This is what I love to see. Oh, man. Even slays across the board, bro. Oh, that gets me wet. 45, 43, 47, 39, just barely outside the 40-point club, 28 assists. Dude, this is a great way to end it. Like, just the balanced attack on Optic Gaming. I got the chance to sit down with World One, and one of the things he says is so dangerous about Sentinels is that any player can fill any role. Any player can step up as a Slayer. Any player can step up as a co-IGL. Any player can step up as that objective player. They all have the ultimate goal of winning. And I think those same traits can be said about Optic Gaming as well. And it's one of the reasons why they're the two best teams in the league. When they can do it all. They can adapt on the fly. Optic Gaming, the #1 team in the league, 9-2 over Faze. And now the question is, can they continue this going into Worlds, which is right around the corners, ladies and gentlemen? We're talking about in October. We will be seeing Worlds. That was your HCS Weekly Report. Make sure you guys drop a subscribe down below. Make sure you leave the comments. Make sure you use code GFuel for 10% off, sometimes 30% off. Code YNOT, YNOT for your G Fuel needs. Make sure you follow me on Twitch, TikTok, YouTube, and all that good stuff everywhere, and all that other stuff that every content creator has to say. Chill, give me your money, damn it. Have a good one, guys. Peace out.